Welcome to Drum Addicts on Andertons TV, and I'm with John from Roland, and we're going to talk about a cool new product. So, what we hide in the corner?
So over here we have the new Roland TM6 Pro, which is the latest hybrid product from Roland.
So it got released in January, and we are now sneaking it through the doors because stock is imminent. So we thought we'd tell you about it first. So it's one of the new hybrid products, hence the new blue colour coding, which is quite cool. But there's lots of misconceptions of what it is and what it can do. So we're going to completely clear all of those, hopefully. So let's start. So you can put 6 things in it, but that is 6 stereo things.
Yep.
So you could have 12 mono things.
Yep.
Let's clear that. If you put splitters in, you could have 12.
You can have 12, and that can be anything from triggers right through to our different range of pads. So it could be cymbal pads, it could be bar triggers, it could be PDX pads, it could be the SPD1 pads.
Yeah. And the first question lots of people are going to ask is, yes, it will work with other people's pads, but you'd use Roland ones.
Absolutely.
So we can put 6 things. So what we've done, obviously we've got a small kit that we just stole from off display. This is a little setup that we have. So usually it has the L80 Zildjian practice cymbals on. This is like a mesh setup. So, but you could have it on an acoustic kit.
Absolutely.
You could even plug that if you've got an older, I don't know, TD4, TD1, TD3, whatever, you could literally use that as its new module.
Yeah, you could do that.
There's so many things you can do with it. So it's a cool bit of kit, and it's not mega expensive, is it? So
nope.
It's cool. So we've got a VH11. I think about that. I was going to say V cymbals, but then I thought of the thing. So, but then we have just mic from above the practice cymbals. So we're just going to try and give you some of the sounds, but there's what? 500 single shot presets.
Yep. 500 brand new one-shot samples, which we're really excited about because they were recorded and produced here in the UK by Michael Shack, Kaz and Chris Whitten in Rockfield and also Real World Studios. So we're really excited. Michael Shack obviously focused on the electronic sounds and processed them obviously geared towards EDM, which is his bag. And then Kaz with the acoustic sounds and he's processed them so that they, they can equip the guys who want to use them live. Things like rock, pop, R&B, the genres that are really heavily hybrid focused at the moment.
But that's the cool thing with Roland. You're not only calling in all your mega artists, but you're doing it in a crazily good studio, and they've got loads of exotic gear there. So
absolutely,
it's great sampled sounds because it was done all for real. So
absolutely, and that's one of the key points of this product is we wanted to have some new sounds, things that have not recycled from other products. And like you say, most of the gear that was used, the microphones and the drums were exotic and vintage gear, and that's I think what puts this product ahead of anything else is that the sounds are real quality.
And I have to say, out of the little play that I had with it, I love the bass drum sounds. The bass drum sounded killer.
The kick drum sounds are great, and there's lots of really cool ways where they're layered as well. So you don't just get a kick, but you'll get a kick with a little bit of effect, and I think that brings something different out of you when you're just playing and just having a jam. It's really effective. And the great thing is, you can just go into the module and you can see what's layered, you can turn the layer off, you can put your own layer on, you can change how it's layered. So you can have a sample that comes in at a certain velocity, or you can have a sample fade in, you can have a sample completely switch. Playing quiet, you've got like a kick, and then playing loud, you've got a tambourine. So it's one of the products that when you get into it, you can really start to change the way that you think about playing and how you approach, especially the sounds of the drumming that you do.
But it's also a Roland product, so it's really intuitive to use, the same sort of menu system. It's easy to use, isn't it?
Yeah, the architecture is great. It's very logical on how it works, and everything's there ready to go. It's all backlit, so if you need to make changes on the fly, it's great. But yeah, it's very easy to use. And
it's a cool bit of gear, whether you're using it as a hybrid setup, as a practice kit like we've got here, or even just as a module for your electronic kit. It's got a lot of aces in its pack. It's a good bit of gear.
That's the great thing is I can practice a set at home using the module plugged into my TD25, and then I could unplug that, stick it in my bag, go to rehearsal or recording studio, do some sampling, or I could just go straight to a gig and use it as a trigger module. So it's very versatile.
And it's good quality, and you can obviously with the Roland stuff, it's so future-proof. So you can, any firmware updates or anything, you could literally stick it on an SD card, whack it in.
Absolutely.
And you'd have the latest version of whatever Roland's wizardry comes out with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we've got it plugged into sort of 5 different drums with V cymbals, but there's loads of sounds. So we've got what, 500 single shot sounds?
Yes, that's right.
So, and you can layer them, right?
And you can layer them, yeah. So you can layer on every instrument and on the rim as well, which is great. So when you go in to edit your instrument, you've instantly got a layer option, and that can be any of the internal sounds, or it can be sampled sounds as well.
So this is where it gets confusing. So you've got one stereo cable that has a head and a rim option that also has a layering option. So one cable is 4 sounds.
If you want to put it like that.
Cool, there we go.
But you can layer on the head and on the rim, which is great.
And we're going to go into a hybrid setup. That's what we're going to talk about. So the modern era hybrid setup, that is very common now, isn't it?
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
People layering either a bass drum with a cymbal and you're getting a more solid sound.
Absolutely.
Or people are laying electronic sounds with snare drums. It's more common now.
And it's even things like people recording themselves dropping some cutlery in a bag onto the shelf and layering that with a snare to have like extra attack. You know, it can be as
no names mentioned, but we know who that was.
But it can be as crazy as that. And you're right, the hybrid market now is huge, and this product, we believe, will be used like gigs all over the place. So the professionals will use it, the guys who are in function bands will use it, because there's just so many, like you say, options with hybrid.
And it's kind of a sort of amalgamation of, say, 3 or 4 of Roland's products all into one small little box. So you've got sampling functionalities.
That's right, yeah.
You've got from the previous TMC6, so you can have MIDI trigger converter. You've also got like the TM2, so you can have the SD card. There's loads of great things in one tiny little box. So
yeah, which is great. I think it's important to mention the sounds as well. We talked about the sounds, that 500 one-shot sounds, all produced in the UK by Chris Whitten in his studio. Kaz Rodriguez has done the acoustic sounds, but he's processed them so that they sound a little crazy, like Kaz's drumming. Michael Schrack's done the electronic sounds, as EDM is very much his thing. So there's a really good mix of sounds in there, which you can use, like you say, to layer on with your acoustic, or just to have as additional sounds elsewhere.
Well, let's check it out. Let's play a few. Let's give them a tease.
Let's do it. It's really great, but then I like to get into some of the more fun stuff. So got some melodic stuff here.
So let's talk about some of the functions. You've got 6 preview buttons, which obviously are to your inputs, but you've also got 3 effects knobs, haven't you? So let's talk about those.
Yep, so the 3 knobs that are on here are volume, pitch and decay, but they also double up. Press the button, you've got alternate options, which is transient attack, transient release and MFX control. So you can basically dial things in on the fly. As you hit the drum, the module knows what you're doing, so then you can just make your adjustments just as quick as turning the knob, which is absolutely fantastic, really user friendly, especially in a gigging environment.
Because obviously everything's backlit, so even the 6 preview pads, you can see which ones. So it literally is straight out on the road.
It's ready to go, yeah. It's gig ready.
And the other cool thing is you've all got routing functions as well. So
absolutely.
we had it. John delivered it and we checked and it wasn't how we wanted it, so we rerouted how it was going just straight away today. So
yeah, so it's really simple. So 2 things that you need to do is you need to tell the module what triggers you're using, because obviously it could be a pad or it could be a trigger or it could be a symbol, and then you need to decide how you route it. So there's 4 direct outs, there's also master outs, so I can tell the module which trigger I want to go to, which output, and I can also do things like pan it to the left, pan it to the right, etc., which is really useful for sound engineers who might only want like a kick and a snare, or they might want the backing track to go to the master out and all the drums to be through the direct. So that means he's got ultimate control. And
obviously you can have a headphone, so you can monitor from it as well. So
absolutely, yes. Yeah. So there's, as well as the direct outs, you could use headphones as your monitor. You're right. Yeah.
Can you split the click? I was going to ask that.
Well, it's really clever how it does that. It's a really cool feature on here. Is when you are importing your clicks and tracks on WAV, if you name it correctly, so for example _click _track, the module will automatically split the click and the track to the click and the track knobs on here, and you can control the volume independent, which is great.
So with the whole blue hybrid sampling, we've stole it from the SPDSX. You can actually put samples in on this, can't you?
You can, yeah. So via SD card, which is great. So it's useful for 2 things. First of all, obviously uploading your samples, just like you can do on a TD50, and then you can assign them and play them. But also SD card functionality number 2 is being able to play your backing tracks direct from the SD card as well, so it doesn't take up any of the processing power on the module.
And that's obviously stolen from the previous sort of TM2, so you've acquired and put it all in one box.
Absolutely, yeah. If you want to look at it that way, then this could be the big brother of the TM2 with lots more options.
So there we go. Cool. That's the TM6 Pro, which is the new product from Roland. We're going to get it, May, hopefully? May, so yeah. That's May 2018. So when you're watching this in however long and checking us out, it's May 2018. We'll have some order, so come and check it out. We'll have one in the store. Thank you for coming, John.
No worries.
And
thanks for having me.
This is Drum Addicts on Andertons TV. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Andertons drum channel. Hope you enjoyed it. But if you're a guitar player or a bass player, you play keyboards or you're into music technology, we've got other YouTube channels that you might be interested in, and I'll put links to those in the description below. Anyway, if you want to find out more about the products we showed in this video, please click up here. If you'd like to watch another video from the drum channel, please click over here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this one or in lots of other colors, click down here. And finally, if you'd like to subscribe to the Andertons drum channel, please click down here. Anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.